What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review, and today I'm very excited to check out Telestrations After Dark from USAopoly. This is for adults only. It's for 4 to 8 players, and it'll take you, I don't know, 15, 30, 45, an hour, as long as you want to play this game. And Telestrations After Dark is a new version of Telestrations, but with inappropriate adult humor and also a glow-in-the-dark box for some particular reason. Now, before we get started, I want to mention 2 big things. First big thing is, obviously, I am going to be using some foul language, some inappropriate drawings, because this is an adult party game, so not suitable for work warning is right here. And secondly, I want to give a big shout-out to Space Balloon Games, creators of Brides and Bribes, which is coming out in 2017. They helped send us to this past year's Gen Con with our Gen Con Bonanza, so big thanks to them. But let's open this up. I love the original Telestrations. Does the After Dark version of the game tickle my fancy just as much? Not suitable for work warning. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get in Telestrations After Dark. So first and foremost, we have a handy dandy rule booklet. It's 2 big pages, double-sided, full color, full of pictures, illustrations, examples. Should have you up and running in no time at all. I can teach you how to play the game right now because it is a ridiculously simple game. So inside of Telestrations, you are going to be getting 8 of these little spiral notebooks in which you are going to get a secret word and write your secret word right here. From this point forward, other people are going to be passing this around the table, trying to draw the secret word that you wrote down, and then the next person is going to guess what that person drew, and you're going to continue to go on, and hilarity will ensue. Doesn't make much sense now, but I'll show you how it works after we go through the components. So you got the spiral notebooks like right here. They're very nice quality. They have a place to keep the score if you decide to play with score, and they have guess it, and they have sketch it. And they even give you nice little reminders and instructions right here, which is very useful. Next, you're going to get these little coasters right here, and these coasters are going to let you know what color you are, so they will match your corresponding spiral. It's a nice addition to the game. Just one of those little things that I love in games. They didn't need to include this, but they did, and it makes the game a little bit easier. So I do like that. You're going to get erasers, and you're also going to get some really high-quality markers. I've played with a lot of games that come with dry erase markers, and these are probably the nicest ones. They are very high-quality markers. So big ups for them. Last but not least, you are going to get these cards, and you're going to get, I don't know, 100 and something double-sided cards that will look like this, and they will say various different things on them. Junk in your trunk, karaoke, party pooper, movie, and I'm assuming you just say any movie there. Lube job, the motion of the ocean, race relations, secretion, money shot, urinal cake, multiple orgasm, kissing cousins, man eater, cock block, juicer, Vegas, baby, projectile vomit, so on and so forth. This is the After Dark version. So that's why they have a lot of double entendres. Now, I will say there's nothing that is crazy offensive in the game. I feel like they did their best job to not go offensive and just use, you know, kind of not really offensive words, but dirty words and a lot of double entendres. I'll talk more about that, the pros and cons. So what are you going to do? Well, each player is going to get one of these cards, and you can either roll a die to select a number, or you can just put your favorite one here. So let's just, let's go with fast car. Yeah, I'm going to go that one. So fast cars and fast women. Oh, this is going to be interesting. So I would secretly put this card face down, and then I would write my secret word right here. And this term, it's actually a secret phrase. So I would put fast cars and fast women. So I'd write that down. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to proceed to draw fast cars and fast women. So I'm going to do my best at this. It might not turn out so well, and that's part of the fun of the game. So let's see, we got the car. It's fast. You see, we have a little number on there. So we got the number 2, and then I don't even know how to make the fast women. So that's a speedy car, and then we're also going to have a woman over here, and she's running. She's like super running. Yeah, so she's got the hair. We want to make sure that they know that she is a woman. That is very important, so we'll make breasts. And she is running. She's also running super fast. So there's my fast cars and my fast women. So then I would put this down and I would hand it to the player on my left or right, depending on which way you decide to do it. So once everyone has passed it, or actually you don't even really need to wait, that person is going to look at your picture. They are not going to flip it over to see what the secret word is. They are going to look at the picture, they are going to flip it over, and they are going to try and guess what the picture is. So oh my god, I don't even know what someone who gets this is. I think that kind of looks more like a tractor. So maybe titty tractor? Yeah, generally this game will devolve, so I guess they would go with titty tractor. So they would write that down, they would pass it over to the next person, who is inevitably going to look at this and say, what? At which point now they have to draw a titty tractor. No one else knows what everyone's laughing about or what, because they're also dealing with something similar to this as well. So, titty tractor. So, I guess it would have a big wheel, and we'd have that up there, another big wheel, and let's see, we'd have somebody in the tractor, you know, driving the tractor. Hey, his name's Steve. So we got that guy there, and then we got a big old set of titties right here for some reason. Yeah, okay, there we go. So then you would pass this on to the next person, and you would rinse, wash, and repeat. And you would continue to get this until the first person gets their book back, or until the first person gets their book back. Now, at this point, you go one by one and you look at everyone's book and you get a good old laugh about how the picture has progressed and changed. And this is really the most fun of the game. They even mentioned that in the rule booklet that you don't have to play with scoring. And most of the time, we don't play with scoring, or we do it very loosely. But they do keep a scoring version of the game because, as we mentioned, there is a score pad right up here. You play through 3 rounds. Actually, right there. And how it works is there's 2 versions of the scoring. There's the friendly scoring, which means everybody's going to give one point to the player who had the best sketch in the book, the favorite sketch, one person who had the best guess, and then you also give yourself 1 point if the last guess matches the secret word, which most of the time, at least when I'm playing, does not happen since I'm such a terrible artist. And then there is the competitive scoring, where each guesser is going to earn a point if their guess matches the secret word or a previous guess. Sketchers also are going to get 1 point if their sketch helps a guesser make a match, so if you draw a good picture, and then you get a point if the last guess matches your secret word. Some other rules that I didn't really cover are they don't want you to write any words or numbers, so I actually kind of screwed up a little bit by writing that number 2 right there, so it should have just looked like that, which would, I think, look more like a titty tractor. But just generic stuff. Don't just put question marks. Try your best, that sort of thing. But you're going to continue to go until 3 rounds, or until, you know, everyone has peed their pants because they were laughing so hard. There's also variants, which I do recommend, where if you don't want to use the cards, you can just make something up yourself, because it's really quite simple. All you have to do is just, boom, write it right here, write the secret word, and you're good to go. But that, in a nutshell, is how you're going to play Telestrations After Dark. Alrighty then, Telestrations After Dark from USAopoly. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. Before we get started, I do have to mention one thing though, which this game is incredibly similar to another game that I've already reviewed called Scrawl from Big Potato Games, which you can get at Target. It's a relatively popular game. Now, in my original Scrawl rule, I compared Scrawl to Telestration, so I feel like it's only appropriate that I compare this to Scrawl. And I will say, after getting my hands finally on a copy of Telestrations After Dark, I 110% recommend Telestrations After Dark over Scrawl for a bunch of different reasons. First, there are so many more pre-made words and phrases for you to use in Telestrations After Dark. Secondly, the components are much nicer. In Scrawl, you get like a little clipboard and a clip. This one, you have the nice spiral. Component-wise, it's a lot nicer. The markers are nicer in Telestrations After Dark. The markers are nicer in Telestrations After Dark. The box is slightly larger, which I'm not a fan of, but overall, Telestrations After Dark is definitely a Scrawl killer for me, to the point that I will be giving this to my buddy Eric, because I like Telestrations After Dark that much better. The only thing that I will say for Scrawl over Telestrations After Dark is the fact that Scroll, I think, has better words, but they have a lot less of those words. But let's get to the pros and cons of Telestrations After Dark. So first, on the con side, this is an adults-only party game, kind of. Obviously, you don't want to play this with kids. It has a lot of double entendres and inappropriate things, tossing salads, hangovers, sex, grinder benders, blowholes, a lot of very inappropriate stuff for kids. But with that being said, you can always play the version of the game where you just don't use the cards and you make up regular phrases. So for that aspect, that's definitely a big con, I think, because if you already have Telestrations, I cannot recommend Telestrations After Dark because you can just make up your own inappropriate words and phrases. So that is something that I did want to mention in the con side, that you could easily modify the regular Telestrations to become Telestrations After Dark. But if you don't have the original Telestrations, let's focus on that. Another con that I have with this game is that it only goes up to 8 players. I know there's a mega version of the original Telestrations that I think goes up to 12 or 16. I would love to see an expansion in the future that would do that because there's a lot of unused boxed here, so I wanted to accommodate more players, but still at 4 to 8 players, that's not a bad player count. The last comment I have with this is that I wish they would have went just a little bit further with the words. You've already got an adults-only audience. You already have an adults-only audience who is clearly down for a lot of inappropriate humor. Why not push the agenda? I want to hear more talk about drugs and sex and super inappropriate kinds of sex and illegal acts. I wanted a little bit more inappropriate. Now, I'm an odd duck who, when I want an adult-only game, I want it to be a hardcore adult-only game. If I got a group of adults and we've all agreed we're playing something super hardcore, don't give me R-rated. Give me X-rated. Give me triple X-rated. But that being said, I still did enjoy the words. I enjoyed the variety of words. But I have a feeling that as I do, most people are just going to start writing their own words because then you can start doing inside jokes and whatnot like that. But all those cons are minor nitpicks because I'll put it this simply. If you do not own a copy of Telestrations and if you like adult humor, Telestrations After Dark is a must-own. It is my new favorite party game. I'm going to put it like that. My old favorite party game was Say Anything, a game I absolutely loved, and I feel like Telestrations. I've never owned a copy of Telestrations myself. I bought one, and then I think somebody stole it. But I think this is my new favorite party game. I absolutely love this game. But with that being said, I've ranked, and this is kind of more of a meta thing, I ranked Say Anything as a 9 on Board Game Geek, which means this has to be a 9 or higher, which means slap a Bauer's Best Seal on this game. That's how much I love this game. I love the words, I love the components, and the gameplay itself is just ridiculously fun. But with that being said, if you already own Telestrations, there's no need to purchase this, I do not believe, unless you want more Spiral Notebooks, in which case, yeah, go for it. So what do I like about the game? It's funny. It's funny. It's funny. It's funny. This game has never fallen flat for me. Ever. And I'm not just talking about Telestrations After Dark, but Telestrations, period. Every time that I played the game, it has been a hit. People have laughed, both the appropriate and the inappropriate version of the game. You cannot go wrong with Telestrations. It's absolutely outstanding, and this is no exception. Telestrations After Dark is my new favorite party game, and what I love about it even more is it's not just for After Dark as well. And here's one thing that I would consider when purchasing this game is if you're like, should I get Telestrations or should I get Telestrations After Dark? I would kind of recommend Telestrations After Dark over the original Telestrations just because you can easily get rid of these cards and just make up appropriate words and play a regular game of Telestrations. And then when I say, why is it After Dark? You'd be like, oh, it's just because it's a glow-in-the-dark box, Nana. Don't worry about it. So Telestrations After Dark, outstanding, home run, my new favorite party game. Highly recommended. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below and in the comments below. Let me know what was the last game that you purged out of your collection. Obviously, I just told you the last game I purged out of my collection was Scrawl, due to a Wage Disaster, which I really did enjoy, but Telestrations is superior in just about every way. Other than that, I recently got rid of a new version of Catbox that was sent to me, but that's only because I already have an old version of Catbox, and I don't need 2 versions of Catbox. But what was the last game you purged from your collection? Let me know, and as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.